Like, it's like cringy to even share any slight detail of my life because I just don't think that anybody gives a shit.
How did I meet you? How did we meet?
Middle school. I'm trying to think of the exact moment, but it's not coming to me at the moment.
Eighth grade science class.
Yes, Miss Sutton's.
Yes.
Class.
You transferred in the middle of the year, right?
Not the middle. Fourth quarter, actually.
Really? I don't know if you know this, but this is so embarrassing. It doesn't matter. It's so stupid. The first time you came in, and I were in that class together.
Oh God, yes. Okay, now it's all coming back to me.
And like,
I had to open that file with us to know.
When you walked in, we both looked at each other and we were like we were giving each other this like disgusting 13-year-old boy look. Like, she's pretty. Ooh.
I definitely wasn't at the time, but I think I was just new and interesting. You can pull up pictures from 8th grade with the plaid pants and Florida Gators hoodie that I refused to
You
let go.
were wearing the Florida Gators hoodie the first day.
It was a statement piece.
Yeah.
It was home. It was comfortable. I actually got that for Christmas from my mom, and I remember going to the store and seeing it, and of course everyone at my school had the Florida Gators hoodie. Mm-hmm. It was just Chuggy. It was Sebring, Florida, Central Florida.
Right.
Right. Tim Tebow, like, biggest, quarterback of all times. Everyone's dad wanted, like, their daughter to be with Tim Tebow. The Gators hoodie. It was like one of 3 gifts I got for Christmas that year.
How was 8th grade for you, generally, if you remember anything about it?
It was good. I mean, I loved my Florida beginning in 8th grade. Like, I genuinely thought those were like the happiest months that I can remember from my Florida experience, and I felt super loved leaving. Coming up here, it was an easy transition. I can remember the few people that I first met on my first day, which was like Twan. I remember him specifically because I was like...
He's an interesting character, to say the least.
Yeah. Kenzie and I, Caleb. I sat at the lunch table with Austin. Grayson. Yeah, no, I mean, finishing out 8th grade at middle was like, honestly, the best thing that I could have think would have happened given I moved up here from another state. I wanted to meet people before I went to high school.
It's pretty easy for you to make friends, now that I think about it. People liked you.
I didn't think I made friends.
I thought you were well received.
I think that the friends I made at the beginning of 8th grade, I completely dissolved the relationships before we started freshman year. Like, we went a summer, I hung out with maybe 3 people. It was like Savannah, you.
we never hung out outside of school.
We talked. Yes, we did hang outside of school.
Not when we were like 13, 14.
Not at that age, but we talked.
No. Yeah.
We were friends that summer.
Do you remember me giving you a Justin Bieber CD?
I do.
I think it was My World 2.0.
I do.
I remember that vividly.
Yeah.
You still have it?
I still have that, and I still have all the burned CDs that you made me, like, in high school. There's one actually in my car right now, and on the way back from Atlanta, Michael said, "There's a CD in here," and I was like, "Oh yeah, that's the mixtape Derek made me."
Holy shit.
If I hadn't been drinking, I would totally drive you around and play it and jam.
I didn't know. I didn't even know I did that.
We could sit in the parking lot and listen to it when we're done if you want. But anyways.
Yes. I will cry. I will do it.
Okay.
Oh my god. Okay, do you remember any songs from My World 2.0? Like off the dome?
I mean, baby.
That was 2.0, wasn't it?
Yes.
Damn.
Smile.
Ooh. You smile.
Yeah.
Somebody to Love. Never Let You Go. Runaway Love. Runaway Love is the most underrated song on that album.
Yeah, here it is. Runaway Love.
Ew. Oh my god.
No, that should be me.
That should be me?
That should be me.
I cried to that song once.
I feel like I used to like play this song in my room in high school thinking about someone that I maybe wanted to date. Yeah, I can't even think of who it was, to be honest, but yeah, that song definitely has like a
that resonates.
Emotional 16-year-old. You were like, that should be me at the movies.
Tell me about freshman year. Who were your friends freshman year? Because you said that some of your friendships dissolved. Can you think back to 9th grade?
Yes, freshman year. Okay, Vicky. Definitely, 100%. She was like definitely from day one, literally, I think. at school. Maybe day 2. Jasmine. She'll always have a special place in my heart. I literally love her. Literally, we pretty much retained our friendship from freshman year to senior year.
You still talk to her?
No. And I really get sad about it.
Freshman year, you were friends with Jasmine, Vicky, me. When did you start viewing as a friend, or was he already?
I didn't like him freshman year.
Understandable.
Yeah, he had something against me, I think, at least. Or maybe that was just how he was, and I took it personally. I wanted everybody to like me.
You and I were closer.
Derek and I were closer. Yes, for sure. But yeah, maybe he was jealous of our friendship.
And I had this like unspoken thing where we were always like kind of competing in a way. I started dating. He had dated before me. Dated. I'm doing air quotes.
Yeah.
Because we're children. So that was always like a thing that like he held over me, as if like he also didn't want me to date her, but he was also like, I did it first. But like, what is did? What is did, you know? Like as a 13-year-old. God, I want to get him on the podcast. What the fuck is he doing? He watches all my snaps, by the way. Like that's so strange to me.
He watches mine too. Let's actually look at my story today from my Atlanta travels.
Let's find out who's lurking.
Here we go. Matt, Haley. We won't say last names. Jeffrey.
No, you can tell me. Haley who? I'll cut it out. Oh, who cares?
Jeffrey. JR. Kylie.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
I f*** with her.
Okay.
She watches all my stuff too.
Damn, none of these people are from... There he is.
TJ watches all my stuff. I messaged TJ today, like on Snap. He was like, oh, I'm doing this practice test. And I was like, good luck, brother. And he was like, thanks, man. I think we're cool. What do you remember about me from freshman year?
The thick glasses.
Sweatpants.
With the backwards hat. And dancing. You were so obsessed with dancing. The like YouTube videos in your garage, you really like Justin Bieber and Chris Brown. And everything had a match with you. Like it wouldn't be on brand matching, but it would be like long sleeve white shirt with the black.
I'm still doing it.
It's not on brand, but it matches.
Yeah.
It's nice. It's nice to see people not change. I mean,
I love the fact that you like won't evolve. Like you will never grow up.
I try to see the positives in everything. Like being consistent is a good trait.
That's very sweet.
So.
Sophomore year, how were you? How was it? What was different?
Sophomore year was awkward, honestly. I think sophomore year is awkward for everybody though. Mm-hmm. I started hanging out with people older than me, which I really didn't venture away from freshman to freshman contact.
Yeah, what's up with that? Like, why did you do that?
I think that it's kind of stereotypical. Like the people who, maybe because I didn't know people from 7th, you know, when you're a 6th grader in the 7th and 8th grade.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So like y'all, in riding the bus, I didn't really talk to anybody older than me. I always sat at the like same seat every single day for like 3 years.
Did you sit with anybody on the bus?
I did.
Who did you sit with?
Diana.
Sweet.
Yeah, I wish I could get back and change that, but she was nice at the time. It was a good bus buddy. 8th grade was Marina, and we would be listening. It was like that stereotypical like kind of meme nowadays where you're both got one pod in with the iPod Nano.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you're like listening to like
God.
the hardest Lil Wayne song that was released. I'm a blah blah.
The Carter 4 was like the most important thing that happened in my life when it came out.
Literally, FWA was like the most important thing that happened to me in my life. So
that's wild. 10th grade. Someone said that I changed. Did you get that? Did you get that vibe? It made me feel that way. Did you agree with her?
Not 10th grade. I definitely think you changed in the later half of junior year. Definitely senior year. And for sure in college.
You don't even know me, so...
I don't. That's what I'm saying.
So it was my understanding, or at least I personally thought, but who am I to talk about myself? That's kind of unfair. So I thought that my big change, my big leap, my big transition was in the second semester of 10th grade. But you didn't really notice anything like problematic until I was in 11th grade.
Maybe because I had other friends sophomore year, and probably because I had my own like personal problems going on that year, to where it kind of masks whatever kind of changes you were going through. But I think it's completely normal to change in high school while you're figuring yourself out.
Let me off the hook.
Yeah. No, I definitely think that you do need to change. Why would you want to be the same stale, stagnant person for, I don't know, your whole life?
It's interesting that you say that about 10th grade, because when I was in 10th grade, I remember Matt, my dear friend Matt, who I love dearly, he had like his own circle, like his own orbit of new people that had nothing to do with me. He was like the most critical person ever of me throughout my entire life, and he never said anything, but that's because he was hanging out with other people. Like he started hanging out with like Alan and JR and like Thad and stuff.
It's coming back.
Yeah And I was like, what's the deal with this? And I remember he started like, God, I remember this is such a petty thing to be upset about, but I remember one time I saw this picture on Facebook with him and I was like, what the is this?
Oh, I can totally see how you feel that way. I can kind of see it from your eyes too, because you know I was best friends with Jeffrey. He was in that group, and it was like I never knew what was going on. It was like the secret like society. Like they would be doing
what, like I just remember
together and having gatherings.
I just remember being so pissed off because like you remember I worked at my senior year. I worked at.
I remember.
And
I came there on your birthday.
Yeah, that was that made me feel good.
Happy birthday, Derek!
I had this very weird. There was this weird complex with working at. On one hand, like it's cool to have a job in high school because people know that you have your own money, but like also you're still at. And when people ask for a cheeseburger, they're like, get it, and like you have to do it. So it's like tough because like you're embarrassed to have people see you there, but also like, okay, I'm working. Like, where are you guys getting your money from? You know?
Right. No, yeah. I mean, I don't know if I was any better. I worked at Chuck E. Cheese for literal $7.25 an hour.
But like I was thinking about that. I was like ranting about making $7 an hour in like this other session, then I cut it out because nobody cares. But like, do you ever think about like how crazy it is that you ever worked for like $7 an hour? That's like slave labor. It's nuts.
I'm proud to admit that I worked for $7.25 an hour, and that was probably the hardest that I ever worked.
That's what's nuts about it.
In my, I don't know, entire job life. I was so proud of working. Like, I followed the employee handbook 100%. I'd show up 15 minutes early.
Well, that's why you're as successful as you are now, because
it's important.
You've always taken it so seriously. I was just thinking about this a couple of days ago because I was doing a Lyft and somebody gave me a $20 cash tip. Mm-hmm. And I remember looking at the bill. I used to work for 3 hours.
Mm-hmm. Oh, literally, anytime I wanted to go buy something, I would calculate how much it would cost, how many hours I would have to work to buy it. Like, for instance, if I wanted to buy this $1,200 iPhone 12 Pro Max, I would literally do $720. I would divide $1,200 by $725 to know how many hours.
And be like, damn, maybe in like 2 months, if I didn't eat, I'd be able to buy this phone.
No, I actually compromised. I got a little $40 Android off eBay, and you know that was only about 5 hours worth of work, and I felt like that was fairly reasonable.
Tell me about junior year in high school for you. Was there anything significant that happened that year for you, for us, for anybody? Your experience in high school, 11th grade.
Can we skip 11th grade? Honest to God.
That's fine. Because I think it was my worst year, so we don't have to talk about it.
It kind of genuinely was my worst year that made it to where it bled into senior year.
We'll definitely move on from it. What made it the worst? Why are you so reluctant to look back on that specific year of your life?
Just the people I guess I chose to associate with at the time.
Say their names. I'm blanking out. Okay. All right. Yeah. We'll just move on.
Like, I don't necessarily.
Okay. Yeah. That's fine. Senior year. Is that too much? Do we hate that part too?
Senior year was depressing. Honestly.
Okay.
I think towards the end I really tried to turn it around and be more positive about it. If anybody can even remember, senior year I was going through parents divorced.
Ow.
It happens.
You know what's so interesting about like a high school, like a teenager friendship? Because obviously we were friends that entire time. And when you said it, like I remember the fact that like it was something that I actually did know. But like as a 16 or 17-year-old, I was like, damn, that sucks. And then I like never thought about it again.
Well, I think it's super different from me to you because your parents have always been together and there have been hard times, but like it's a good relationship to see, especially when they overcome the hard times. Personally for me, it was like multiple failed relationships and I never really had a good example of marriage. I had a terrible attitude, terrible anxiety, breakdowns. It was getting a little ridiculous towards the end of high school, but you know, we made it, we survived. I got the diploma, rightfully, but at the time I was helping taking care of I think she was 5 years old, my 5-year-old sister at the time.
Oh my god, wait, how old is she now?
13. Oh my god, she's gonna kill me. She's 14. I literally wrote happy 13th birthday to her on her birthday this year, and she was
Start over again. So, how old is your sister now?
14. No, start over.
How old is your sister now?
So she's 14 now. Actually.
Wow.
I don't even know if we can use that. You can put 13 in there. I don't care. She knows.
So, obviously, I had a plan when I was a senior. Like, I was like, oh, I'm going to go to NTSU. I'm going to major in journalism. I love talking. Look at me, look at me, look at me. What was your plan, like, after high school? Where did you think you were going?
I mean, I did have a plan. I had a 5-year plan, and I was like, I am sticking to this. I am not swaying from this 5-year plan. I was going to go to UTC for the first 2 years because my mom was going through a lot with the divorce. She needed assistance with my sister. I wanted to be there for my family. Honestly, it meant more to me than a college education. So I agreed to go to UTC, in which I decided after a semester I was not going to continue.
Oh, so you only stayed for one semester?
No, I did enter in the second semester, but about 2 weeks in, I was like, okay, you know, there's not enough parking, so.
So not one full year?
Not one full year.
Wow.
No.
1 year of college, essentially, pretty much, basically, and then after that...
So, yeah, when I was going to college, I was managing at Chuck E. Cheese. I was the opening manager, so I would always deal with the openings from, like, I don't know, Tuesday to Saturday.
What time are you going into work to open?
8 a.m.
And when would you leave?
4.
How many days a week did you do that?
5.
Ooh.
So it was a full-time job. I did pick up a second job at Old Chicago here in I really, really needed extra money because I was living in my 1-bedroom apartment. I actually had moved out on my own.
No roommates.
No roommates, yeah. 1-bedroom apartment. It did not have washer and dryer hookups. I compromised with that. I could afford the rent, but it didn't have washer and dryer hookups. I did serve dining and cocktail at Old Chicago, and I would make actually filthy money. I made really good money.
Yeah, I bet.
I worked like every day, sometimes doubles 4 days a week. So like Jesus. 70 hours a week on average. I saved a lot of money, and then I took some time off for like a little reset, and then at that point I was looking for other endeavors. I actually applied to another job on Craigslist, matter of fact.
What?
On Craigslist.
I didn't know people look for jobs there, like, seriously.
My general manager at Chuck E. Cheese screamed at me so bad one day. I cried. I had to go to the bathroom. I cried it out. I finished the shift, and when I went home, I said, I'm not going to deal with this anymore.
What's his
name?
On
Craigslist.
What's his name?
I don't want to say it.
Say it!
His name was... He honestly gave me the backbone that I needed for a management career.
Oh, that's what I wanted to hear.
But... a little emotional toll. Honestly, I've never had anyone that strict in my life. My stepdad was definitely a second, but he was pretty strict. He definitely had an expectation, and when I let him down on that expectation, he would make it very, very
So now looking back, it seemed like, he was being like super mean, super hard, but now you're like, oh, I guess I kind of needed that to push me in the right direction.
He was a corporate manager, like he had been on a corporate level and he wanted to lessen the workload.
Yeah.
He came back to the store where it was easier, more local, less travel. And yeah, he managed a bunch of 16, 17-year-olds and made little mini managers. mini managers.
So you went from Chuck E. Cheese and Old Chicago to the Mellow Mushroom. How do we get from Mellow Mushroom to what you're doing right now? Big boss lady.
Craigslist again, matter of fact.
Craigslist got you here?
If you ever need a job, hit up Craigslist. I don't know, maybe I can't say that's true to this day because I have been here for 4 years. But yeah, Craigslist has always been there for me. And it's nice too when you're having a lonely night and you're drinking and you just want to go look at the free ads. There's a ton of interesting things for free.
What's your official title now? What's your position? You don't have to say the place.
I am a community manager for a beautiful apartment community that I've seen built from the ground up. Wood frames, concrete slabs to a fully occupied community. A lot of pleasure in it. A lot of pleasure. Met a lot of good people along the way. A lot of life experiences, stuff that I never thought I would have to deal with. Honestly, when I applied for this job on Craigslist, I was like, oh, just gotta show some apartments and help people with the paperwork to get in. Heck yeah, that sounds awesome.
Like, easy cash money.
Yeah, commission based, like hourly plus on-site, incentives and commissions. So benefits. I mean, who could ask for anything better at 22 years old?
We had the entire story of you. We talked about high school. We talked about how we met in 8th grade. We talked about our mixed CDs, our Justin Bieber fad. And we talked about freshman year, sophomore year, the evolution or the lack thereof. I'm still matching. And in junior and senior year, we talked about our plans for college. And I talked about, I didn't talk about college, but I did it in a different session. And you told me about your little college experiment. But it turned out that you not finishing college was the best thing that could have happened to you. Because ultimately, I would argue that, objectively, you're in a better position than I am right now. At least financially. You would say that you are a successful person. You're doing well. You're proud of yourself.
Define success.
Are you content?
I think that you need to define your own success. And, it's not necessarily about finances or career or anything like that. It's about, setting goals and achieving them for whatever you want in your life.
You're doing that.
My goals in life was to, set myself up financially, have a career that I could work up with, and put my all into, because I was raised a little differently. I had good kind of examples of people who just got up and went to work every day, and that was content enough. So I'm very content with my work. I'm proud to be in this place. I would say that my definition of success I have achieved for this time being. I think that you can set new goals and succeed them at any point in your life.
Obviously, we're here together in October. People that have never heard from you before are probably wondering, based on this conversation that I heard them have, it sounds like they haven't seen each other in 4 or 5 years. Could you explain to me, maybe just briefly, why we're still friends? Why are we recording a podcast at 11 o'clock at night when I haven't seen you in years? What's up with that?
Mainly because I'm more reachable in the late afternoon time and night. But yeah, I am a night owl. But also because, there was something there. It's still there. When someone calls me, all of those memories, all of those great times from high school, an example, you don't just forget that. You don't just let it go unless you choose to. And I didn't choose to, obviously. It's still something that's kind of special to me. And I cherish it. I really do. Derek was one of the first friends that I ever made coming to Chattanooga, and I will always say that. And I always used to post Facebook statuses my grandchildren know about Derek Buxton.
Oh my God. Obviously it's different now because we're adults and we're not gross. And, we have our own, relationships with people. I have a fiance. You have somebody that you have, a very intimate relationship with, somebody that you share a child with. We're in different places in our life. Obviously, we don't have time to, kick it every weekend, especially considering that I live 2 hours away. But it does mean a lot to me that we can still come together after so many years and still have, a good enough rapport to do what is now, a 40-minute podcast. But by the time everybody else hears this, it's going to be significantly less. But regardless, I think it's important for everybody to know, because I don't think I mentioned it earlier, that Matt Kenzie, Kenzo, Wilkshake, was in fact the first female, woman, lady, girl that I ever considered a best friend of mine. For whatever reason, it was really hard for me to form any type of meaningful friendship with somebody of the opposite sex without me being extremely awkward about it. But for whatever reason, Kenzie was just so cool and so chill. For whatever reason, I just felt very comfortable around her, and I don't know why that is. Today, I still feel that way, and we're still together. We're still kicking it, just like it's 20 13, 14, 15. I hope you all enjoyed it. She's obviously a very career-driven, successful, happy woman, and I hope that comes across well. And I love her, and I hope you all do. And I'll see you in a couple days.
I'm very proud of you, Derek, for fulfilling your goals and ambitions with this podcast. It is very, very, I don't know, I guess rewarding to see friends do something that brings them so much passion and joy. Personally, like I said, I really can't stick to a hobby. I kind of get a little impatient and bored, and I like to change it up and try a ton of new things. But if it doesn't work out, I immediately toss it out. And I feel like you took on this podcast very vulnerable, but definitely opened up yourself to people. And when I listen to it, I see a completely different side of events that occurred in real time, like my life as well. And it's nice to see another side of it and kind of hear what's going on with you these days and staying connected to you through the podcast, because we don't talk every day, we don't text every day, but this is a way, another form, like status sharing on Facebook, pictures, posts. I mean, it's kind of old. Podcast is new. I like listening to, being able to hear your voice, and it's just genuine. It's a little bit more of a connection, in my opinion. So I'm proud of you, Derek, and I hope you keep going, and I hope that maybe I can be on like the 1000th episode of Derapy or something.
Haters looking at me crazy because I'm driving around Miss Daisy, and in college I was lazy.
You've been very defensive lately.
But they were coming for my baby. Well, the podcast looking tasty, and we getting money lately. Psych. I just found my passion, man. What's happening? I've been going up. They've been throwing up once they see the numbers blowing up. I've been showing up like Monday, Wednesday, Friday. My way, not the Burger King, but y'all a side plate. Looking at me sideways, y'all can hit the highway. Spotify and Apple, hear me anywhere in the tri-state. I am like a fly plane, I will never die, man. They say I'm just rambling, but I'm just playing my strength. Ooh, Lord. Rapping to me so elementary, I'm going harder than sedimentary. I'm doing this cause it was meant to be. I'm not petty, but someone tempted me. Might clap back if someone send for me. I do this without $1 or $1 cent for me. I won't stop and I don't bend the knee.